Asterisk, you grew up in very poor conditions. Your mother abandoned you when you were a baby, and you never met your father, so you grew up as an orphan. And unfortunately, you were not lucky to be adopted either. When you became an adult, you left the orphanage and started living by your own means. But it was difficult, because it was difficult to find work without much education. You managed to get a job as a waiter in an elegant restaurant, and it was fine, but you barely cover your expenses. Your appearance, however, attracted many customers, mainly men, some rare, and others friendly, also women. At first, you didn't care or bothered you, but it became tedious. Until one day, you met Do-yeon in the restaurant. You were serving champagne, and you couldn't deny that he was very handsome. What you didn't know is that Do-yeon was interested in you and had a very interesting proposal for you. Asterisk, asterisk, as you pour the champagne, your hands tremble slightly, causing a few droplets to spill onto the pristine white tablecloth. You quickly dab at it with a napkin, hoping Do-yeon hasn't noticed your nervousness. He looks up at you with piercing eyes, his gaze intense and unwavering. After what feels like an eternity, he speaks. I have a proposition for you. Asterisk, he says, his voice low and commanding. Asterisk, one that could change your life forever. But I'll need you to trust me completely. Can I count on you? Asterisk, he extends his hand, palm up, waiting for your response. The air between you crackles with tension, and you're acutely aware of every tiny movement in the quiet restaurant. Asterisk, you stare at Do-yeon's outstretched hand, your heart pounding in your chest. His offer hangs in the air between you, tantalizing and mysterious. You know you shouldn't trust a stranger, especially one as enigmatic and wealthy as him. But the promise of change, of escaping the relentless poverty that has defined your entire life, is irresistible. Asterisk, with a trembling hand, you reach out and grasp his fingers. His skin is warm and smooth, contrasting sharply with your own calloused palm. As he closes his hand around yours, you feel a jolt of electricity run through you. I trust you. Asterisk, you stammer, barely able to meet his intense gaze. What's the proposition? Asterisk, a slow smile spreads across Do-yeon's face, transforming his stern features into something almost handsome. Asterisk, the smile on Do-yeon's face widens slightly, a glimmer of amusement dancing in his eyes. He squeezes your hand gently before releasing it, leaning back in his chair with a confident air. It's simple, really. Asterisk, he begins, his voice smooth and measured. Asterisk, I'm offering you a chance to be my personal assistant, but not just any assistant, my companion. I require someone who can attend to my needs, both professional and personal. Asterisk, he pauses, letting the implications of his words sink in. Your mind races with possibilities, each more scandalous than the last. Is he propositioning you? Offering you a life of luxury in exchange for what exactly? In return, asterisk, he continues, you'll have access to everything money can buy. A luxurious apartment, designer clothes, exotic vacations, anything your heart desires. All I ask is your loyalty and discretion. Asterisk, Do-yeon leans forward, his gaze locked onto yours. Asterisk, you swallow hard, your mouth suddenly dry. Do-yeon's offer is tempting beyond words, but the price, you barely know him, and the thought of becoming his companion sends a shiver down your spine. Yet the promise of a better life, of escaping the grinding poverty that has haunted you for so long, is almost impossible to resist. What exactly would be expected of me? Asterisk, you ask hesitantly, your voice barely above a whisper. As your companion, Do-yun's eyes glint with a mixture of amusement and something darker, more intense. He leans back in his chair, steepling his fingers beneath his chin. Do-yun's lips curl into an enigmatic smile, his eyes never leaving yours as he considers your question. The air between you feels charged with anticipation and unspoken desires. That's for me to define and for you to fulfill. Asterisk, he replies smoothly. My needs are varied and particular. I require someone who can adapt, someone who understands that our arrangement is about mutual benefit. He pauses, leaning forward slightly. Asterisk, I'm not looking for a servant. If that's what you're thinking, I need a partner, someone who can challenge me, intrigue me. In return, I'll give you a life beyond your wildest dreams. His voice drops lower, taking on a husky undertone. But make no mistake, this isn't a traditional job. It will demand much of you. Are you willing to give yourself over completely, to trust me implicitly? Even when it goes against your instincts, you feel a chill run down your spine at Do-yun's words, a mix of fear and excitement coiling in the pit of your stomach. His gaze is intense, probing, as if he's searching for something deep within you. You know you should walk away, that this arrangement reeks of danger and uncertainty, but the allure of his offer is too strong. The promise of a life free from struggle and want too tempting to resist. I'll do it. Asterisk, you hear yourself say, your voice barely audible. I'll be your companion. A slow, triumphant smile spreads across Do-yun's face, his eyes glinting with satisfaction. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out a sleek black card, holding it out to you. Excellent, asterisk, he murmurs. My driver will pick you up tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. sharp. Be ready. You take the card with trembling fingers, glancing down at it. It's completely blank except for a single embossed symbol, a stylized D inside a circle. The weight of the card in your hand feels like a tangible representation of the commitment you've just made. As you stare at the enigmatic symbol, a flood of emotions washes over you: excitement, trepidation, disbelief. Did you really just agree to this? To become the companion of a mysterious billionaire with unclear intentions? You look back up at Do-yun, trying to gauge his reaction. His expression is unreadable, his piercing gaze fixed on you with an intensity that makes your heart race. The silence stretches between you, heavy with unspoken implications. I'll be ready, asterisk, you manage to say, your voice steadier than you feel. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Do-yun nods, a slight smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. The dinner continues, filled with cryptic conversations and lingering glances. As the night wears on, the restaurant slowly empties, leaving you and Do-yun virtually alone in the elegant dining room. The dim lighting casts shadows across his chiseled features, accentuating his sharp jawline and piercing gaze. Finally, as the clock strikes midnight, Do-yun sets his napkin on the table and stands, buttoning his jacket. With a swift motion, he extends a hand to you, an unspoken invitation. It's late, asterisk, he says softly. Let me drive you home. The offer is unexpected, almost gentle compared to his earlier dominance. You hesitate for a moment before placing your hand in his, allowing him to help you to your feet. His touch is warm and firm, sending a jolt of electricity through your veins. As you step out into the cool night air, Do-Yun's driver pulls up in a sleek black limousine. He opens the door for you with a respectful nod before turning to Do-Yun. Mr. Kang, asterisk, he murmurs. Your instructions. Do-Yun's gaze lingers on you for a moment before he replies. Do-Yun turns to his driver with a slight nod. Take us to my penthouse, please. The driver closes the door behind you and settles into the driver's seat. The limousine pulls smoothly away from the curb, gliding through the quiet streets of the city. You sit beside Do-Yun on the plush leather seats, acutely aware of his presence next to you. The silence in the car is palpable, charged with unspoken tension.